Atomic Habits isn't a book about productivity. It's a revelation. It exposes how your identity, your systems, and the invisible forces in your environment shape your life far more than motivation ever will. You can set goals, you can dream big, you can hype yourself up every January. But if you don't understand how habits actually form and why they fail, you will keep repeating the same patterns year after year. Because change isn't about willpower, it's about physics. It's about tiny forces that compound quietly until they reshape your life completely. In this video, we'll break down the hidden triggers that sabotage your progress and the mindset shifts that help you rebuild your identity from the inside out. Now, let's get into it. You think you need motivation, you think you need willpower, but the truth is, motivation is a burst. Habits are structure, and structure beats bursts every time. That's the first trap most people fall into. Trap 1. You think success is about intensity. We love dramatic transformations, the big diet, the 30-day challenge, the all-in mentality. But James Clear exposes something most people never realize. The results you want come from consistency, not intensity. Because your life is the sum of your habits, not your goals. Why do some people transform quietly, while others keep restarting every month? Because high achievers don't rely on willpower. They rely on identity. They don't say, I want to run. They say, I am a runner. They don't say, I want to write. They say, I am a writer. Identity creates gravity. It pulls your actions toward who you believe you are. And the inverse is also true. If you believe you're inconsistent, you behave inconsistently. If you believe you're someone who quits, you quit. You think you're failing because you're weak, but you're failing because you're trying to act like someone you don't believe you are. That's the trap. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Trap 2, you expect massive change to come from massive effort. It feels logical. Huge effort, huge results. But habits don't work like that. The smallest habits compound in ways you never see coming. Clear calls this the power of atomic habits. Tiny changes, massive impact. The problem is we don't notice the impact right away. Go to the gym for a week, nothing. Eat healthy for a month, nothing. Write every morning for 10 days, still nothing. So we quit. Not because the habits don't work, but because the results lag behind the effort. James Clear calls this the plateau of latent potential, the place where outcomes are invisible and frustration rises, the place where most people give up. But if you push through, the breakthrough looks sudden. The results appear overnight. But they weren't. They were compounding quietly beneath the surface. The magic is happening long before you see it. The danger is quitting long before it arrives. Trap 3. You think your environment doesn't matter. We like to believe we are in control. That discipline is internal. That strong people push through no matter what. But Atomic Habits exposes how deeply your environment shapes your behavior. If your phone is next to your bed, you scroll. If junk food is in the pantry, you eat it. If your workspace is cluttered, your mind feels scattered. It's not weakness, it's design. Your environment is an invisible hand that pushes you toward your habits or away from them. The trick isn't fighting temptation, it's removing it. And the trick isn't forcing good behavior, it's making it obvious. Want to read more? Put the book on your pillow. Want to exercise? Lay your clothes out the night before. Want to stop scrolling? Charge your phone in a different room. Your environment beats your willpower every time. So, instead of trying to be stronger, make it easier to be better. Trap 4. You underestimate the power of identity. Every habit you perform is a vote for the type of person you believe you can become. This is the single most important idea in the entire book. Most people try to change their habits by focusing on outcomes. Lose 20 pounds, make more money, become more productive. But Clear flips the formula. True change starts with identity. Outcomes are what you get. Identity is who you become. If you identify as someone who hates running, you will never run consistently. If you identify as someone who always procrastinates, you will always procrastinate. But if you shift your identity by casting small votes, your behavior changes automatically. Read one page and you're a reader. Do one push-up and you're an athlete. Write one paragraph and you're a writer. The votes are small, but they accumulate, and the identity becomes real. You don't need massive evidence. You need consistent evidence. Because once your identity changes, habits stop being effort. They become expression. Trap 5. You rely on goals instead of systems. Goals matter, but they don't create progress. Systems do. You can set a goal to write a book, but unless you have a daily writing system, the goal is meaningless. You can set a goal to get in shape, but unless you have a workout system, the goal is dead on arrival. Systems win because systems create repeatable actions, and repeatable actions create identity. If you want predictable results, build predictable habits. You don't need to predict the future. You need to build a system that controls it. Trap 6. You try to remove bad habits without replacing them. Most people try to stop their bad habits through force. Stop eating sugar. Stop scrolling. Stop procrastinating. But habits don't disappear. They get replaced. The human brain doesn't like empty space. Every habit starts with a cue. If you remove the action but keep the cue, the craving stays alive. So instead of deleting a habit, replace it. Instead of scrolling when you're bored, read one page. Instead of snacking when you're stressed, take a 5-minute walk. Instead of checking notifications, breathe deeply once. You don't break a habit by resisting it. You break it by redirecting it. Trap 7. You think small habits don't matter. This is the deadliest trap of all. Because if small habits don't matter, then quitting them doesn't matter either. Skip the workout. No big deal. Skip the reading. No big deal. Skip the writing. No big deal. But James Clear shows the flip side too. Do one push-up. No big deal. Write one paragraph. No big deal. Track one habit. No big deal. But here's the truth. Everything compounds. Nothing is neutral. Every action reinforces either the identity you want or the identity you fear. Your habits aren't just actions, they're votes. And the small habits create the largest shifts over time because they are the ones you can repeat forever. Trap 8. You expect habits to survive bad days? People think success is about doing the right thing every day. But it's not. It's about doing the right thing most days and recovering quickly when you don't. Clear calls this the never miss twice rule. Missing once is human. Missing twice is a decision. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is identity. The people who win aren't the ones who never break habits. They're the ones who get back on track fast. The difference between a champion and a quitter isn't perfect discipline. It's rapid recovery. Trap 9. You don't design for friction. Friction is crucial. The more friction there is between you and a bad habit, the less likely you are to do it. Move the apps off your home screen. Put the snacks in the garage. Turn off autoplay. Delete the shortcuts that feed your worst tendencies. Meanwhile, remove friction from good habits. Put your guitar in the middle of the room. Put your journal on your pillow. Put your workout shoes by the door. Behavior follows convenience. Most people fail not because they're weak, but because their habits are too hard to start and too easy to avoid. Make good habits easy. Make bad habits hard. That's it. Trap 10. You think habits are about achievement. The real reward of habits isn't the result. It's who you become. It's self-respect. It's consistency. It's progress. It's waking up and trusting yourself again. Clear explains that the goal of mastering habits isn't to achieve something once. It's to become the kind of person who shows up every day. A person who can trust their future self. A person who doesn't quit. A person who acts in alignment with who they want to be, not how they feel in the moment. Because when your identity shifts, your habits shift automatically. And when your habits shift, your future becomes predictable. Atomic Habits isn't a productivity book. It's a blueprint for identity change, a physics manual for behavior, a system for building a life that compounds in your favor. You don't need more motivation, you need more systems. You don't need to change everything, you need to change one thing consistently. You don't need to become someone new. You need to prove to yourself that you can. Tiny habits, tiny votes, tiny wins. They compound quietly until they make you unrecognizable. If you're ready to build the kind of habits that survive real life, start now. Start tiny. Start today. Because your future isn't built in big moments. It's built in the small ones you repeat every single day.